3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Still Fist, and I am here with my big brother, Mr. Bryce Scanlon. How's it going, my man?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm excellent. You got a fight coming up February 21st, heavyweight matchup against Kendrick Wolf, and you're the first. You're kicking off this round of podcasts. Just got done with practice, got you over here, and so thank you for doing the show. Thank you for coming out here. It's a little late night. We're both got our kids to put to bed, so let's get this thing rolling. I wanted to bring up that you were, since I started this podcast 2 years ago, you were my very second guest, and you were the very first still fist fighter I had. I wasn't even just specifically doing still fist fighters at the time, but you had just won the heavyweight belt, the AMI heavyweight belt, and that was 2 years ago, and we haven't seen you fight since. So we got two questions. One, what took you so long to get back in the cage? Two, why did you decide? What made you decide to get back in the cage?
You know, having kids, being a single parent, it keeps you busy, but there's times in life when you got to prioritize what's important. And you know, my whole goal getting into this fight game was never to make a lifelong commitment to it. It was to help me get through my divorce, stay focused, have a goal, and just show myself I could do it. I knew I could do it, but you know, a lot of people say they want to do things, but they don't do it. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to put in the work and do it. So, you know, I needed to live life, just get everything ironed out. You know, everybody knows that life is not always easy, and so you have to grind through it. And it just felt like a good time for me to step away and let my body heal. And, you know, playing college football and rough sports my whole life, these fight camps take a lot out of me. So I stepped away, but then, you know, I helped train with Eric Hyman in his fights, and then Dom, and you know, everybody who's been training at Team Link, and just helping them, and they help me, and we get better. Yeah. And my tank wasn't empty. It's still ready to go. I feel good. I'm not recovering as fast as I get older, but you know, it's part of the journey in life, and I feel like I had something little left to prove and show people that I have some more skills other than just wrestling. So yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
Awesome. I love it. When I hear you talk, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm a smaller, less talented version of you, because I was the same way. You know, I got into it because I was going through a divorce, and I was like, man, I need something to occupy my mind. And then now, you know, that's over with. I got a daughter. She's turning 4, and you got 2, and you know, now they get to come to the gym and they're getting into it. I see a little boy's been out boxing. He was showing me his combos the other day. And is that something that you know, is martial arts or something you're going to start to get them into, or are you just going to let them decide if they want to do it on their own?
Well, my son loves to do it, and you know, it's nothing better than going to a gym where my kids are welcomed. And you know, I've had the opportunity to train at gyms where they were always welcome. Yeah. Both at COA and at Team Link, and when I was at the garage. So for my son and my daughter to see me work hard and then have the passion in themselves to want to learn different martial arts. My son's there working with everybody. Anybody who knows Isaiah knows that he's super interactive. He wants to learn. He needs that focus like me. He wants to be better and just perfect his skill. My daughter, she just likes to hang out with everybody and play with their dolls. So, you know, it's hard on them, but at the same time, I'm fortunate they go and they support me, but it's also not someplace they don't want to be.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing. I have this thing like, if we go fishing and they're done, we're done. Like, yeah, you know, I want them to not hate what we do, but want to go and enjoy it, you know. And the last few weeks has been hard because we've been grinding so hard at the gym, putting in the work, because I believe no one will ever outwork me in the gym. Yeah. And it's been a little bit harder. I was a little heavy coming into this camp, and I've dialed it in, and I'm on weight today, so the rest is just fine-tuning and sharpening with the tools I have and getting in better shape to put on a good show for everybody.
Yeah. And before we get on any further into the fight game part of it, just last little bit about the family, I have to say how much I respect and how much I respect the father that you are, because so many fathers use fishing as a way to get away from their family. The dads get on the water and they leave their family. I don't know how many times I've seen pictures of you on the water with your kids. And then the same as training. So many parents come into the gym without their kids, but every opportunity you can bring your kids, you bring your kids out there, and like that's so awesome to me as a dad who prides himself on being a good father. I get to look at other good dads and surround myself with other good dads. I mean, Eric brings his boys out. He's got two of his boys that are, one of his boys that's training and fighting, the other boy that's coming out and training. And it's to me, it's just like, I like to surround myself with other good dads. I like to surround myself with other good parents. And so my hat's off to you. And I really do respect you for being that type of dad who involves your kids in everything you do. And it's really cool to see, man.
Like you said, for me, my kids go everywhere with me. It don't matter where we go. I'm not gonna. I want to share a passion and hobby with them, but at the same time, I want to show them what life's really about. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's that grind in between that the consistency makes it so much easier. Yeah. Life can be hard, but it's how you look at situations. If you're negative, it's going to suck. If you just say, I'm going to get through this, it's always worth the grind. But I like to show them, like, how can I tell my kids to not give up if I give up, or if they don't come to the gym and see me sweat and not work hard for stuff. Like, I don't want my kids know we have rules in my house. Like, you earn everything you get. Yeah. If my son doesn't do good in school, he doesn't get to go to the gym, and you know what? That's a bummer to him. Yeah. It incentivizes him to stay focused. My daughter, we just have strict rules. Like, we lay it down and we stay to those, just because if not, your kids run wild, and I want them to enjoy our time together, but also see what structure is, and that's why I want my kids to be involved in sports and martial arts, because it teaches them discipline. Yeah. And we live in a different era with kids that don't have respect, and my culture, it's all about respect. So I enjoy them coming with me, and it's been very fun. It makes it easy for me to train. Yeah. So, but I try and do stuff that is not related to fishing or fighting. Yeah. And that's where we find our time together outside of fishing and fighting. Yeah. So
well, that's awesome, man. I really do respect that. So now you talked about coming into camp a little heavy. So let's talk about how is camp going for you? I always ask everyone where they train, who they train with, who their coaches are. So let's get into that. First of all, how is camp going for you?
Camp's been great, So, like I said, as I get older, it's harder. It's harder, but at the same time, it's crazy to see what you can put your body through. Yeah. And endure and come out even better. For me, it's like I started, I think, this camp weighing like 286. Mm-hmm. Just hanging out, fishing, enjoying my kids, having fun, eating whatever I wanted. But I'm like, you know what? Let's refocus. Let's get the body in check and get the mind in check. And now I'm almost 20 pounds. I'm about 21 pounds down and feeling great. And so now it's been a great camp. We've always worked hard on my striking more so than my ground, just because I'm trying to catch up my striking with my ground game. Nobody's seen my hands except for the people in the gym, and it's getting better. I've got lots of work to work on. I pride myself in working hard, and I know that there's always someone better who has better hands than me, and that's why I work harder at it, so that if I'm put in a situation, I know I have my wrestling. Yeah. If I do get hurt, I'm going to the ground, and don't think because I'm hurt I can't defend myself. I know what people can do out there that I fight. Most of them are really good strikers. I'm not going to change my game plan to what you're good at, but you better be ready to handle yourself on the ground, because I promise you that if you haven't trained with guys my weight, when I'm on top of you, it's a whole different ballgame. I like training with big guys. I train with 300-pound dudes who put their weight on me. It's a whole different ballgame. It sucks the energy. Your lungs are zapped. So it's been a good camp. Lots and lots of striking. Coach Al, Fabio, Buzz, Iman, great striking coaches and great partners. I got guys who try to blast me, and I need that. So, and some of the little guys hit hard. Jordan Munoz, he got me good. good the other day, and my nose still hurts, probably broke, but it's part of the game, you know. If you don't enjoy the grind, then you should probably go play golf or crochet. I mean, this is a fun sport.
Yeah.
You work hard, good things come.
Yeah.
So
what's funny is you mentioned Jordan. It's funny, like, it's always the smaller guys, or like even like, you know, some of the girls that we train with, because we're bigger than them, they haul off 100% and throw as hard as they can, and then you're always trying to like hold back. And I can't imagine, like, the bigger you get, the more frustrating that is, because, you know, like, I'm in yourself, you know, you guys aren't hauling off at us 100%. And then we get to haul off on you at 100%. I can imagine that it gets pretty annoying at times, because I know sometimes when I'm in there, I'm like, man, I wish I could just crack you back. But I have to say, I appreciate that you don't haul back, you know, 100%.
I was taught when I first started this whole fight game by my good friend and great coach, Dave Castillo, that you don't break your toys. Not saying you guys are my toys, but you're my partners.
Right.
What do I get if I am that bully in the gym? I mean, do I know what I could do? Could I ragdoll you on the ground? Yeah. Could I punch you and hurt you? Yeah, but if I don't have no one to train with, I don't get better.
Right.
You know, it's funny because Jordan, he throws bombs, and, you know, I need those. Yeah. And having the smaller guys have faster hands, it makes the bigger guys with not as fast hands feel slow. Yeah. You know? So even Sasha, she throws hard, and she's got a punch that everybody gets hit by. You know, everybody gets hit by Sasha's little sneaky punch. Yeah. And, it makes me realize that there's always someone bigger and badder than you. There's always someone smaller and badder than you. If you don't capitalize on what you have to offer and bring to the fight game, you're going to get slapped sooner or later. Yeah. And if you think you're a badass, well, guess what? I promise you there's 10 dudes who will whoop your ass, and women out there who could beat you. Yeah. It's when you get complacent and cocky that you get slapped.
Yeah. And also when it comes to the jiu-jitsu game, you could muscle your way out of any position. You know, if I've got my arm around your neck, you're strong enough to just peel my hand back. But you're going up against another heavyweight, you might not have that option. So you, instead of just peeling my arm off with your strength, you actually are trying to change positions, find a new position, trying to find a way to get out of it. And so even with jiu-jitsu, it's a lot easier to just to go with the technique rather than to just muscle out of it. And I've noticed that a lot with you, because I'm like, man, I know he could just toss me off if he wanted to, but instead you work to new positions, and that's only going to help your game, because you just in heavyweight you probably don't have that option to just muscle out of it. And so using your technique is what's going to benefit you in the long run. So not breaking your toys, I like that. And I don't think anyone who takes that offensively is a child, because it is what it is.
I train with really tough dudes, and women, and I'm very fortunate to have such high-level strikers. Gabe is a beast. Fabio's a beast. And then if you've ever rolled with high-level black belts, Fabio, who walks around at 155, 160, him and Tiago, they're little pit bulls. I'm 265, 285 pounds is what I walk around at. Yeah. And to roll with those guys, it's crazy. If I don't use technique, I'm getting my arms ripped off. I have to use a little bit of strength, but the more I can finesse, the better it is in the long run. Then I use strength and I can move. We've just been very fortunate to have Mickey come in. Yeah. And man, his Muay Thai and the stuff we've been training with him, we have a stacked team at Team Link. We're very fortunate. Everybody supports everybody. There's no drama. We work hard, and we have a good team. We're surrounded by a bunch of good people who care about each other. That's what I want. I want family who we're not just forced to work with each other. We want to. We enjoy bringing each other, together, and it's solid, man. I got not many bigger guys. Munoz is big. Then we got Big Rob, and then some of my buddies who come in and train, Oliver and Moni. I'm just fortunate to have people who want to help me get better and see me succeed. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a bully. I don't go around being a tough guy. That's not who I am. Never has been. But know that if I have to, I'll handle my business. Yeah. So, I just fight my way. I don't change. I'm not going to make a fight camp for another person fighting, because it takes you away from who you are as a person, who you are as a fighter. I'm not going to define myself as I got to train for this way for this guy. No, you're going to train what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
I promise you. You think I'm going to stand up and bang with you? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll take you down.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah. So in this camp for you, with our team, we've got 5 people fighting in 2 weeks. 5 people on the team. So we've had, you're not the only one that's in fight camp for this. What are the benefits you've seen from that, and what are kind of you wish was different in that with that situation?
Everybody has a stake in the game. It's not just my fight. We all fight each other to make each other stronger. So our coach, Fabio, has a big fight coming. Also is fighting like Cars Munoz. And then there's me, Sasha, and Jordan. Everybody has skin in the game.
Yeah.
But everybody else, we've helped them. There's not people who just don't show up just for their camps. They show up for everybody's camps.
Yeah.
That's the difference. They know that we'll be there. We'll give them the rounds they need, and in return, we get the same thing. It's very nice to have that. I believe you train with the best, you get better. The only way to get better in life is to learn from other people better than you. I've been fortunate. I fish with the best people who fish these waters. I've been blessed to get better because of them. I fight with some of the best dudes. I get better because of them. I have the best coaches. I get better because of them. Not because of me. Am I genetically blessed? No, I work hard. I got some Samoan blood, cool. But that don't matter if I don't put the work in. It doesn't magically, I don't go out there and do this because I didn't do it for since I could remember wrestling, football, sports. It just doesn't happen. You either do it and you build who you are as a person and the things that you stand for and what you want in life as a young age from your parents, whoever raises you. It doesn't just one day magically click.
Yeah.
So for me, family is everything to me. My friends are my family. It's pretty simple. We're going to bleed together. We're going to win together. We'll lose together. But guess what? At the end of the day, we got each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want to look at the guys in my camp. Would I want you in a street fight? Absolutely. The Munoz boys, dude, those are tough dudes, man. I got nothing but respect. Everybody I train with is tough. There's no one who's soft. I don't want soft people.
Right.
I don't, I want the only strong is the weakest link in our camp, and our weakest link is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So work hard, man. All I know is working hard. If I can go through a camp and look through this and say I gave it my all, I'm good with it. Yeah. Anything in life. You're not going to win every fight. You're not going to win everything. But for me, I'm going to go out there and say I left it. I don't want to be regretting what I could have done.
Yeah.
And that's why I work so hard on my striking. Everything. I don't want to be a one-sided fighter. I live by strikes, you die by strikes.
Yeah.
It's just look at the best MMA fighters. Khabib. He outpunched McGregor in the last fight, but then his ground game is so vicious. You have to worry about everything.
Yeah.
So, I love this game. It's fun, and I enjoy the challenge it has. So,
I have to say that probably the weakest link in your camp is a southpaw, so he's actually probably your biggest help in this camp as well.
Hey, man. I fought southpaw, and training against southpaws, I appreciate it because I'm fighting a southpaw, so it's huge. So thank you for don't call yourself weak, man, because that's not even fair. You're for how light you are. You're just as strong as a lot of the 250 pound plus guys I go against. So that's got to say something.
Yeah, I was 280 for a long time, so I still carry some of that fat muscle, I guess. I don't know, but coming up tomorrow night actually is the John Jones Dominic Reyes fight, and Dominic Reyes, he comments about how he grew up playing football, and so now and then he played I don't think he was D1, but he went off and played college football, and he says now he's saying that he's better athletically than anybody else that John Jones has fought. You also played college ball. Do you feel like with that you have an advantage as an athlete Do you, I guess what I'm saying is, do you relate to what Dominic Reyes says, like the transition from playing football, playing sports growing up to now being an MMA fighter? Do you feel a parallel in that? Do you relate to what he says in that?
For me, it's more, not so much football, but wrestling.
Okay.
The things that we saw when I was a wrestler and the things we did don't compare to many things I've done in football. Wrestling is one of the hardest sports, and at the same time, it's a team sport, but it's only as good as...
This mic is... There you go.
Better?
Yeah, don't touch that cord.
There, it's better right there. I got it.
No, I lost you. Okay, go ahead.
So with wrestling, I'll never forget those practices. That pure insanity of the grind that you fall in love with as a wrestler makes everything else you go through as an adult through sports seem like, okay, I've gone through way worse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've went through a lot of hard stuff with football. Like, I've done some cool things, man. I've lived a cool life. I've experienced some of the best training by some of the best college coaches out there.
Yeah.
Does it make me better? I'm not better than nobody. But at the same time, does it give me an edge to how far my mental strength can be? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've never been pushed to a point of pure exhaustion and been forced to do it and want to do it, that's the difference. I loved it. I love it, man. You see me in the gym, I'm talking shit, but it's a funny, like, it's a happy, there's no shit talking, it's just pure me goofing around, motivating everybody that you got more in the tank. There's always a little more you can give. And just the mental lessons, like Urban Meyer was a pure mental genius in getting his players to do awesome things, pushing them to the limit and making them believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Once you believe in yourself and you have the support of the cast around you, it's the limit is endless.
Yeah.
So for me, being a 35-year-old single father who works full time and does this, like, it makes me, anybody who doesn't have kids and is younger than me and who says they don't have time, bullshit. Come on, man.
Yeah, you can always make time.
It's a choice we make to live the life we live, and there's no one else to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
I want to look back and say, damn, I had a good life. I did some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I made some great friends. I bled with some awesome people, and we bonded over a common interest and a common goal and a common dream. And this fight game brings back the memories of the camaraderie as a college athlete, as a high school athlete, and as just a competitive man who goes out there and wants to do his best. That's how I look at it. Like, that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
I see all these guys walking around, I'm a fighter. Come on, bro. Like, you know, the baddest dudes I know on this planet are guys who don't say anything. My buddies who've been to war, who have seen stuff, who've done stuff, they don't say nothing.
Yeah.
The guys who can beat your ass say nothing.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to say.
Yeah.
They know what they can do. It's the chihuahuas out there running their mouth that you call them out and they're scared. I've never been one to talk shit. I respect everybody. There's no drama for me. You know, we both are humans. We want to be happy. Why be an asshole? Yeah. That's not who I am.
Yeah. No, I do always appreciate that, because, you know, especially with you, because I since I started, you know, this whole podcasting thing, you were one of the first ones on, you know, you were one of the first ones on my show. And so, I've had a friendship with you since that day, since we met, and I've always appreciated that about you. You know, we'll go out, we've gone out a few times, and you know, you're a big presence, and people see you and they notice you, and I've never, you know, been like, oh shit, here we go, like we're about to get in something. Like, I've never had that with you. You know, it's always, you know, super friendly and nice, and it's funny because then I sit in there and I'm like, if anybody popped off, they would be in big trouble with this guy, and so I've always appreciated that about you. Never a bully mentality. we talk about your wrestling, we talk about your football. You've been involved with, I'm sure huge wrestling matches throughout your life, big football games. How did those compare to the first time you stepped in the cage? I mean, you've been in the cage twice now. Oh, they fumble. You're good. This is only your third fight in the cage, so I'm sure remembering your first fight isn't that long ago, isn't that far out of your memory. What were the emotions? What was it like? How was it different, or how was it the same as anything else, any of these other big moments that you had in your life?
It's funny when people ask me about, how many people you played in front of, big stadiums, and, I played in front of probably 50,000 people, been in stadiums where there's 65 plus, but when I would play, it was complete quiet.
Yeah.
It was calm, because I was ready.
Yeah.
And I remember playing college football, and just when I didn't play my freshman year, and it was crazy and loud, and you're like, how do they hear anything? But when you get to that point of being mentally prepared, like anything in life, you're calm, you're at peace, you've done the work, and there's nothing new that you haven't seen. My first fight, I knew what I was there to do, and I knew what I could do. Yeah. Nobody knew who I was, and I like that. Like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my thing, and I don't hear my coaches. I don't hear nothing. I go through the motions of everything I've done. For my first fight, it was I think I trained for almost a year.
Yeah.
Because that was a deal, like, you can't get in the cage till you've proven yourself.
Yeah.
And you're ready. We want you to be ready. So my second fight, same thing, like, okay, we trained everything we thought would come, and you go out there and it's just muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's a reaction. If you have to think, it's not good.
Right.
If you're thinking, if you're worried, if you're not happy to be in there and confident, you can see who's confident.
Yeah.
There's fighters in the UFC who, they're ready.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I said, I don't believe many people will ever out-train me.
Yeah.
If they do, I tip my hat, and it's nothing but respect, because it takes a lot to get in the cage. When I see guys who are out of shape, I don't understand. Like, your life could end.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, on a serious note, you could get punched. People have died from the sport. I go in there thinking the person's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
I got 2 kids I gotta go home to. I will leave it all out there.
Yeah.
You have to drag my body, and I have no problem. People get caught. I'm going to go and leave everything I got. There will be nothing left for me out there, because we always look back in situations in our life and we're like, damn, I could have done this much more, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Relationships, friendships, any activity, like, damn, if I would have done this outcome wanted to be different. Living with that is terrible.
Yeah.
So leaving anything on the table that I didn't train, if I didn't strike, and just second guessing if all I did was one-sided. How can I tell my kids to expand their horizon, open your mind, when I'm doing a one-sided lifestyle?
Yeah.
I will never be a hypocrite to my kids. I was raised not to be a hypocrite. I'll never do that. Yeah. If I say I'm going to do something, it's because I expect that of my kids. I'm not going to tell someone to do something that I won't do.
Yeah.
And then, luckily, everyone I surround myself, I respect. I can't respect you if you're going to tell me to do something you've never done it. How can you coach me if you've never done something?
Yeah.
You can't. You don't take advice from someone who doesn't know. You're not going to, hey, how do I do this?
Yeah.
From someone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah.
I want the best. I want someone who's bled, grinding through their struggle and came out on top. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So,
well, you touched on 2 points there that just like clicked to me right off the bat, and one was when you said like people who aren't in shape when they get into the cage, and that's always a really sensitive not sensitive subject, but it's always like it's a point to me when I'm sitting there cage side next to Kevin or Pat, and someone's in there fighting, and it's obvious. I mean, there's a difference between you go in there, you shoot your shot, and you get exhausted because you went all out, and now you're tired. And then there's the other side of people who just are not in shape. And you pointed out that, it's dangerous. They're putting their life on the line. Why are you not ready for this? Why are you not in shape for this? How have you not trained properly for this? And that's a very good point. I just look at it on a professional level, and I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, no more. Like, don't bring them back. Like they're not taking this serious. We're trying to put on the best show with the best fights. We want to be the number one promotion. We don't want to put on bullshit fights where fighters aren't ready. And so that's how I'm looking at it. But you bring up a very good point. They're putting their life on the line. This is dangerous. This is dangerous work. How can you not take this serious? You're going in there and you could potentially death isn't even death is something that could happen, but just permanent injury. An injury that you don't come back from. An injury that a career-ending injury because you didn't take it serious. You didn't train properly. You didn't put in the time to put in the extra work, to do the extra cardio, very good point. That's a very good point. And then the other point you made was, you played in front of these giant stages. You played in front of huge stadiums, and you don't even hear the crowd. You don't even hear anything because you're ready. That's something that I definitely can relate to. I remember I had a friend growing up, and we were talking. He never played football in his life, and we were watching. He was a big football fan, though. We'd always watch football together, and he would always talk about like home field advantage and away games advantage. And I was like, man, I don't understand that. I was like, I've played in away games, and I never felt like the other team had the advantage because they had the crowd on their side. I was like, I never even heard the crowd. And now, granted, I played on a much smaller level, but still, the crowd never affected the way I played. Boos, cheers, nothing. I never heard none of that. And he was like, no, it's like a proven fact. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I know it is like teams play crappier when they're home or away, but I think it's like a difference between like familiarity of the field, or if you're playing on a turf, or if you play inside of a dome or outside, like maybe those conditions, but I don't think the noise really affects that much. And he was like, no way. And so I was glad to actually hear you say that, because I felt the same way. I was like, man, I played away games. I never noticed. I never paid attention to what the crowd was saying. I never paid attention to what that feeling was. Now I get it if you're playing in if you're playing, where the Saints are and the crowd's so loud you can't hear the calls. I understand that, but just like the feeling of the crowd, no, I never got that. So I'm glad you brought that point up too.
With that being said, so when I was at the University of Utah, we'd actually have crowd noise. They'd bring in big speakers for the offense and crank it as loud. I mean, it was terrible. Yeah. But it was literally crowd noise, like cheering. Yeah. And so you just get used to it, Yeah. And you're focused. You know what your job is to do. Yeah. They make the call. Yeah. And you do it. Yeah. Simple as that. It's not like, I have to think. No, this is the coach called the call. You don't get anything else. Yeah. Because if you do your own thing and they blow your assignment, that's a touchdown. Guess what? You ain't playing. Yeah. So you do your job. As long as you do your job, what you've trained all week, all year for. Yeah. Simple. Yeah. Everything else is, and honestly, when you can't hear, it's still movement. Exactly. Move. Yeah. That's all you're looking for. But as a defensive player, I don't hear it, and a lot of my buddies I've talked to said they don't hear anything. Yeah. No, and that's what makes sense. If it's too loud where you can't hear the calls, then that's one thing. But when you know what to do, and you're going and you're reacting off movement, and you're reacting off, you know your job. If someone shifts, that you're going to shift. Then after that, the noise doesn't matter. Then after that, the noise means nothing, because you already know what you're supposed to do. You already know your job. So I'm glad you brought that up. Let's get into this. Your fight is coming up. We're 2 weeks out. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. Basically, I'll probably be fighting right now. Yeah. 2 weeks from today. So. Yeah. At this time, you'll be either up next. You'll be getting in there. You're fighting Kendrick Wolf, young up and comer. He's got some wins under his belt. Some pretty impressive wins, and we've talked about his striking. So let's talk about that. Where do you see him having
seen his biggest strengths? Obviously you've seen him fight. Where do you see him having his biggest strengths in the octagon?
I watched his last fight, and he's got good hands. He's a southpaw, so anyone who hasn't fought a southpaw, I would say, because I fought southpaw my last fight, and naturally the orthodox fighter walks into their power. So it gives the advantage to them throwing their power. But he's a young kid. He's done really good in his last 2 fights, knockouts. So he's coming off of a very confident fight, and he should be. He's up and coming for sure. He's got power. But once again, that's his game. And we're going to come out and do what I do. My striking, we've worked on southpaws the last 10 weeks. So it's nothing I haven't seen. I'm ready for the southpaw, and it's going to be a fight. He's a young kid. He has lots of power, and we are just going to keep working our game plan. So it's going to be a good fight, and I have nothing but respect for him. He's on a winning streak. He's going to come out confident. He's going to come out swinging, and I think he's been putting on some weight, so good for him, I have nothing but respect for anybody who gets in that cage, so much respect to Kendrick, and, we're going to go do our thing, both of us.
Yeah, it was really interesting how this fight came together, because I know Pat was looking for fights for you. Was looking, and no one was saying yes. And then you reached out to Kendrick, right? And said, let's do this?
Yeah, and I know he has nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. We're going to go out and fight. And at the end of the day, I'm glad he took the fight.
Yeah.
And I just, my career's isn't going to be much longer. I'm getting older. I've got different priorities in my life, and I appreciate him for taking the fight. So, he's the future of the heavyweight division, because, guys like Kent had an impressive fight. I think he said he's going pro, and Kent's a beast, man. He slimmed up. That choke he finished the last fight with.
Yeah.
The heavyweights and the pro need to watch out, because Kent has upped his game. You can see the level that he stepped up. Kendrick stepped up a lot too. It's cool to see these guys keep continuing to grow as fighters, and those vicious hands that both Kent and Kendrick have, that's awesome, man. Hopefully that they can put some ground game into their work, because that only makes them that much more scary, more dangerous. So, I told guys the last time, work on your ground. Your guys' hands are so good, but that's every heavyweight has heavy hands.
Yeah.
You can get hit by a shitty punch and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And if you don't get hit, you can't get hurt.
Yeah.
So it's just good to see the evolution of the heavyweight fighters. And Kent looks, man, the lighter he gets, the faster he gets, the more power he has. And same with Kendrick. I've seen both of them improve, and it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a tough test for me, and I'm very glad that I've been healthy through this camp, and hopefully the next 2 weeks I can drop a little more weight, because I like to fight around 255, but I don't know, man. Whatever my body tells me, and
I'll tell you how you can get down there real quick.
No, thank you. The sweatsuit sucks.
You don't want to.
The sweatsuit is terrible, but it's working.
Yeah.
And I think I went keto for a little bit on accident, and that sucked. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I'm back to my chicken and salad, which my body loves, and I feel great. So we're gonna stick with that for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to carnivore, eating meat again. I know you vegetarian over there.
Vegan, bro.
My bad. I tried that too, but no.
I was gonna say you could go one or the other, because Joe Rogan lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks doing carnivore. I lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks going vegan. So I think you go one extreme or the other. You either go straight veg or straight meat.
So I was thinking, man, I was gonna do organic vegan. It'd be complete organic meat, wild game shot by myself or my buddies. Well, not by me, because I haven't hunted in a few years, but I had some whitetail and some elk. I think that'd be a good combination of the two, because nothing is more organic than something that in nature.
Yeah.
So I tried that, but chicken is what my body feels it the best for some reason. I've tried everything, and
I would have thought you'd have leaned more towards pescatarian, since that's what you're doing anyways.
Fish is good, but it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't give me whatever's my Polynesian chicken is fired.
Yeah.
So I eat that daily. I meal prep. I got to go home and do this tonight, but I'm just doing what my body tells me, man. You know, everybody's different.
Yeah, for sure.
And
for sure,
what works for you might not work for me. And
for sure,
it's crazy because I tried the 2 meals every hour. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Now I'm just doing my small breakfast with a protein shake for lunch with a small meal, then a decent sized dinner.
Yeah.
But I feel good. I'm strong as ever.
Yeah.
You know, I need to do my 225 test and see if I can do it 30 times. That'll let me know if I'm good, but I did it the other day and it was pretty easy. So
where were you at on the pull-up challenge?
I did 20 the other day, so not too bad. I was 280. I think I was 278 when I did 20. So
a lot more than me. A lot more than me.
Bad.
A lot more than my light body.
Hey man.
No, but you're right. I mean, and you know, I don't. It's funny. I was thinking about this today. I was like, because I've been talking about being vegan. I've been talking about it on this, and I'm like, I was like, you know, I'm just glad I'm not one of those people that's like puts it on their Instagram that I'm a vegan, or one of those people who, because I was thinking about the people who, you know, all the people that go to the gym and then all of a sudden they put fit on their Instagram, or they're a fighter and they put MMA somewhere in their Instagram.
You'll never see that on mine.
And then, or they're vegan and they go and they put
#vegan.
And I'm like, I'm glad that I don't follow it or any of those. But you know, I'm only, like I said, I'm not morally a vegan. I'm not against killing of animals. I mean, unethically, yeah, but ethically, I don't really have an issue with it. I go fishing and well, I haven't been in a long time, but I have no issue with it. But for me, my body responds to it. My body feels great with it. So for me, it works. In chicken, I love chicken. I love the flavor. I love chicken, but it slows me down. I feel it. I feel slow when I eat chicken, and so it just doesn't work for me. So you find what works for you and stick with it. I mean, it's working. You dropped weight so fast, and you're like, all right, I'm in camp. It's on. Like, I remember I've been seeing you, and I'm not bullshitting you. I'm like, man, you're looking lean. Like, every day I'm like, man, you're looking lean. So whatever you're doing, man, it's working for you. So anybody who hasn't been out to see a Bryce fight, anybody who hasn't been out to see you, who might be first time catching you on the podcast, or just hasn't been out to Still Fist yet, hasn't seen you fight, what do they have to look forward to seeing you fight?
You know, I'm going to go out there and for a big guy, move fast. So I'm going to cover a lot of ground. You're going to see some hands this time. We worked a lot. We worked too much the last probably 3 years to not show some hands. But I like to pick big humans up and put them down even faster and then just control them. Because nothing is more demoralizing than getting picked up and have no control over that. I've had it happen to me. It doesn't feel good. But that's the plan. Set up my takedowns with my strikes, maybe some kicks, who knows, you know, because I promise that my kicks they might be a little hard sometimes, I don't know, we'll see. No, it's just, we're going to go out there and let, you know, I train for every situation. If he comes out swinging, then we'll just have to do what I've been taught, and who knows? I honestly, this is one fight that I don't think he's going to stick to his normal game plan. He has really good coaches. He fights out of a legit gym. All the guys I have, but I think that they were older. They fought longer, and so as you get older, I feel you become more stubborn. You do the same things. Both the guys I fought, great fighters, vicious hands. Lauren and Ronnie, like, dude, they hit you, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
But I've watched so much film on fighters. Like, they do, a lot of guys, even myself, we do the same things. If you're not watching film and breaking down foot movements, it's like both of my fights, the same setups were taken down, a punch to a kick. So I like to break down my guys so I know, okay, oh, here it comes. Or he's moving his feet this way to set up this. I feel that it might be a little bit different. I know it's going to be a little bit different with this because I just have a feeling. So it's going to be a total, who knows? He might just come out swinging for me, which, whatever. Let's put on a show. That's what people paid.
Yep.
And I'm here to not only do what I do, but entertain people. Like, I'm not going to be a dick about it. Like, I don't believe in showboating. Like, I'm going to celebrate with a classy way. However it happens, I'm going to come out, I'm going to do my job. But I'm excited. And luckily I have guys who push me, and when I'm slacking, I get I get slapped for it, basically.
Yeah.
So just be ready for a good fight, man. And that's what I promise that I will deliver, and it'll be a fun show.
Hell yeah.
If you haven't seen me fight, come out and check it out. Let's have some fun. And the Still Fist family, man, I got to say this about them. They run an awesome business. Bunch of good people who truly care about their fighters, and it's sad to see when these fighters back out. Like, it would tear me apart for how hard I've worked to have someone back out. If you're not going to fight, man, you shouldn't be here. Like, yeah, people get hurt, but just to legit not show up to weigh-ins, not make weight, to slap in the face to the people who put in the hard work, like that pisses me off, because if my guy got hurt and I couldn't fight, all the work I've done, everything that I've gone through, I'm mad, man, because anybody who goes through an 8 to 14 week fight camp knows the grind we put in. People have no clue. The normal person doesn't know.
Yeah.
And you see these fans booing about stuff. I mean, come on in and try it, bro. Like, for real. They should get the people who boo, throw them in there for a 1 minute round, and they'll have a heart attack because they can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like, give us some respect, I mean, it might not be the funnest fight. My fights, when I get on the ground, you might be booing, but that's what I specialize in. Guess what? If I was fighting you who was booing me in the street, are you going to be booing when I'm on top of you and you can't move?
Yeah.
No, you're going to be crying. Or you're going to be asleep.
Yeah.
So it's so disrespectful when I hear these fans booing about stuff that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
They're paying for a show, but it's a fight. It's not a boxing match. It's not a kickboxing. It's a fight.
Yeah.
A controlled fight that has rules and parameters to fight in. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's...
I know in the two fights, in the two fights that you've had, I don't know anybody who booed when it went to the ground, because it still was pretty vicious when it went to the ground.
Booed when I walked out. I'm like, hey, man, I've never said a bad thing about anybody in this fight game. I respect everybody, and I'm getting booed. I'm like, dang, what did I do to you? Like, I get that I'm fighting your person, but hopefully my people don't boo at the other team, because I don't like shit talk, man.
Yeah.
It's just karma comes back. I won't do it.
Yeah.
And I just want my people, not even my fans. I don't want fans. I want friends and family to come out and be like, yeah, these guys put on a show.
Yeah.
Not boo.
Yeah.
Give this guy a round of applause. Respect that man in there, because I guarantee he could whoop your ass. Every one of the dudes I fought, I'm going to fight. Don't boo him. That's not my culture. We're warriors, man. You go and you bleed out there, that takes some balls, women and men. So it's... Fans, if you're watching this, man, know what we go through to do what we do for you. I'm not making any money. I'm an amateur fighter. I'm not a pro. Like, legit. Like, I go because I love to do this. I don't have to do this. I got a full-time job. I could be fishing and doing whatever, but I enjoy this, and I don't do it for how many likes on Facebook I'm going to get. The people who are going to pat me on the back, I don't do that because you lose sight of it, I don't know, man. But I'm put on a good show, and I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity to work with Still Fist and do this show. Thanks for having me here, man. It's been,
Yeah, before we close it out, we always got, you brought it up a few times, but, all your fights have been with Still Fist. Why are you loyal to Still Fist? What are we doing that you like? What can we do better? Just let us know, what it is, what it is you like about us and what we could be doing better.
I'm a ride or die for real. Like, if you're my friend, I got you till whatever we need to do. Any business need to be handled, we're going to handle it. Still Fist has always treated me right, and I like fighting in front of my friends and family. I could go to Vegas. I've been offered to fight in Vegas, but why would I want to travel there? Because I do this to show the hard work to people that are my friends and family, that they can do stuff hard in their lives. And Still Fist has given me the opportunity, and it's just a good organization. I like representing who I am and the people and where I come from and my family, and being able to do it locally to people who know me means a lot. I want my people to come and see me. That's what I'm about, is showing people, kids, adults who think that they can't do something in life, and make it happen. we look back and be like, damn, I could have did that. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Don't sit in your miserable situation and think it's going to get any better if you don't do anything better. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So hopefully I can motivate someone to change their life. Live a healthier lifestyle. Leave a bad relationship. Make better decisions to make their life better. Because I read all this negativity on social media. Oh, my life is so rough. You know what? You're making your life rough. Quit feeling sorry for you because no one else is. They might say, oh, I'm here for you. Well, lean on people who care about you, not some stranger or some dude on social media who thinks you're cute and is going to give you a compliment like, oh, no. Make it better for yourself, your kids, your family. That's what life's about, not putting some sob story. Tell the people who care about, they'll lift you up. That's who matters, not some strangers on social media, man. Like people, I get friend requests all the time. Like, I don't know you. I want my people who know me, who know the struggles I've been through. If you don't know my struggle, if you don't really care about me, I don't want to be your friend. It's simple. Like, I'm not a bandwagon, Yeah. You're ride or die. You're either with me when I was nothing and we'll rise to the top. Don't just jump on when it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm not about that. I was never a fighter. I'll never be a fighter. I'm just a person who want to do something fun, challenging. I don't walk around, fighter this. No. Oh, I got a jiu-jitsu shirt because I love jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But I don't broadcast that, dude.
Yeah.
It's except for like when I'm promoting this fight.
Yeah.
But other than that, people have no idea that I fight. That don't know me.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Live a simple life.
Well, my brother, I appreciate you. I love you, man. Having you come to camp, having you come and be around me and just, being a supporter of this podcast, being a supporter of me, being a friend of mine since day one. I wish you all the luck in the world, my friend. I'm going to be there front row. I'm going to be closer than front row. I'm going to be cage side. I just, as being part of the organization, we love having you. You're a great representation of Utah fighters, of Still Fist. We're going to try to get as many fights out of you as we can until you decide to hang them up, because we love having you. I love having you on the show. I love having you in camp as a teammate, as a friend. I can't say enough about you, man. I truly do appreciate you, and as I said on the top of the show, as a example of what a good father is, that I hold above everything else, because that to me is the most important thing. So, if you haven't been out to Still Fist, this is the card. This is the card to come to. This card is stacked. This is the first of the interviews I'm going to do. If you know Bryce, get tickets from him. It helps out the fighters directly. If you buy the tickets directly from the fighters. If you don't know Bryce or don't know anybody on the card, go to stillfistfight.com to get your tickets. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and iHeartRadio at Undefeated by Choice. You can find us on Facebook at Still Fist Fight Night, and you can find us on Instagram at Still Fist Fight. Bryce, thank you for doing the show, man. Look forward to seeing you February 21st. Still Fist Rectify. Everybody else, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you.